Hey my lovelies, welcome to Mystical Mysteries and So Much More, where we learn about different mysterious, unusual, and sometimes unexplainable things. Today's mystery, if you even want to call it that, is about understanding the difference between your inner voice, your gut feelings and intuition versus spirit communication, or when spirit talks directly to you. And there really is a difference. Don't worry though, you won't need an Ouija board for this. Thank God, right? Tools of divination. Next topic, maybe? There's so much to dive into here that we're not going to be able to cover it all in one video. But grab your popcorn anyways. Get comfortable. Stay seated. And let's see where this takes us. Have you ever just knew something or had a voice in your head tell you information about a person or situation just to later find out it was true? That's totally happened to me. It happens a lot, actually. Does it happen to you? If so, this video might interest you just a little bit, maybe not. So the question here is, what's the difference between your inner voice and spirit talking to you? Because sometimes it's hard to decipher. But let's start off with that little voice inside your head. And no, you're not crazy. We all got one. This isn't always spirit yapping in your ear, though. Sometimes it's your higher self or your conscience guiding you through life. You know, taking the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. Sometimes he does, and we still get scared. Anyways, pay attention to how this information is coming through to you and what the circumstances are surrounding the situation at hand. But I do have a question for you. Let me ask you this. Are you literally hearing voices with your own ears? So is it external from you? Because that's basically spirit speaking to you. I mean, unless you're schizophrenic, but that's not what we're talking about. And there really is a difference. Clairaudience is a real thing. We should talk about that sometime. Or is it coming through as just a thought? You know, like, I'm just sitting here thinking about this. Usually it's random when it's spirit. But either way, what's that voice telling you? When does it pop in? Is it random? Is it when you need to know something? Or do you feel like it's a warning? Let's break this down just a little bit, shall we? Because that's quite a bit. That was a lot of questions with no answers. But anyways, first off, let's bring Jiminy Cricket to the stage, aka your conscience, the inner voice of reason. This isn't your higher self, and this isn't spirit. This is you knowing right from wrong based off from your personal experiences and what you were taught. On the other hand, the higher self is personal guidance that only you have for yourself. So it's not taught to you, it's just there. It's part of you. It's you. And it doesn't help anyone except for you. That's your own personal guidance, basically. The higher self can help you with making decisions of any kind, especially life-changing ones. Usually people connect fully with their higher self through meditation or by other spiritual practices or by other spiritual means. Now it's time for the big one. You ask what that is? That's spirit communication. Yes, we're going to learn the difference now, aren't we? The randomness of it all. You might question the crap out of this one, but ultimately you'll know if it's happening to you. You might not fully understand or always know, which makes it even more confusing, I just want to say. This little voice can answer questions for us, tells us what's up with other people, and can even give us insight on the outcome of a situation. It's stuff we shouldn't know or we think we shouldn't know, and because it has nothing to do with us, basically. When spirit talks, it can be confusing because it can sometimes come in as just a feeling, just like your gut feelings or intuition. So it can mimic your own guidance, your own inner compass. They can speak through your thoughts, which is most common, and it comes through as though you just had a thought of your own. Like I said, the difference is spirit communication usually is intrusive. It's the randomness of it all. You're thinking of one thing and then boop, something else pops in. They butt right in, basically. That's usually spirit. Or they provide an answer to a question you may have. It'll be direct, even if you don't fully understand. Even when we get confused, that doesn't mean it's not direct. It just means we second guess it or aren't listening. And when they tell you future information, you probably won't understand until it happens. You know, after the fact, once you get the evidence. You'll learn to understand messages more and more with time and practice, just like with anything else in life. So now that we know the basics surrounding these quote-unquote voices and sometimes feelings, let's talk more about spirit communication and guidance versus all the other stuff we already know. Spirit communication is the voice that comes through that is not your own, which I've already said. It can be external, internal, but it doesn't come from you. You know, when you just know something, whether you felt it or heard it, but can't explain where it came from. That kind of thing. You might know shit about another person as well that you shouldn't know. Like, how did I know that? Spirit told you. Or, how did you know where that object was? The missing object. Someone's like, hey, where did I put my keys? And you're like, I think I know. They just told me. It's in the freezer. What the fuck's it doing in the freezer? Just saying. Who puts their keys in the freezer? Or how you knew someone was sick, dying, or just passed away. That actually is very common with people that you're close to. But that's spirit, baby. Just saying. They're working for you. It could be a passed over loved one helping you along the way, or a higher being relaying messages to you. Either way, it's a helping hand, a heads up, if you will, so you're prepared for what's to come. If you receive messages from spirit, consider yourself lucky, because that does not happen to everyone. The possibility is always there, but many are not open to it. There's too many closed-minded mofos out there. Don't be one of them, just say it. If you're watching this, you're probably not. I could go deeper and talk about mediumship with all of this, but that's a topic for another video because it's different. The spirit communication that I'm talking about is more for guidance and protection versus, knowing shit about other people unless it's for protection purposes. But anyways, let's move on to other forms of guidance, which do include spirit as well. Your gut feelings. And no, I'm not talking about when your stomach growls in hunger or when it's potty time, Potty time. Excellent. No, that was bad. Just saying. Shouldn't have done that. Your gut feelings, otherwise known as your intuition, is when your spidey senses catch a vibration surrounding a person or situation that puts you on high alert, warning you of impending doom. Or just a slight problem. Could be minor. You won't know unless you pay attention. This could be spirit warning you, or even your higher self. Your higher self will set off the alarm bells if you've been in a similar situation before. Do not forget history. Your past self will warn you of reoccurring problems. So it's like, hey, bitch, we've been here before. Listen, different face, different place kind of thing. Your intuition is there to make you pay attention to the red flags of a person or situation that might be new to you. So you haven't experienced it before, and they're giving you the heads up, like, pay attention. This is not a green flag. So you don't get in the car with Ted Bundy or conned into some bullshit scheme. It's basically your back the fuck up meter. So listen. But it does have other functions. Just saying. It's not all for evil. It can be used for good. Your intuition or gut feelings help you make the best decisions in life. Really listening to yourself can help you move in the right direction in any situation or with people. I just want to say, if you trust yourself, you won't have to worry about trusting anyone else, because you can't go wrong. You'll avoid a shitty situation if you just trust yourself. Your intuition will warn you of bad things, giving you that pit in your stomach or that quote-unquote off feeling. It can also make you feel all warm and fuzzy and good, when you do have the green flag. So it works for good too, just saying. Your intuition is your first line of defense, but sadly most people second guess this aspect of themselves and later regret it. Don't be that person. This feels like a warning video for some reason. Everyone has intuition, but when it comes to spirit warning us in a similar way, it's less common, but it's not impossible. Because, why, you ask? Because people don't listen. Just like I said before, that's why spirit doesn't intrude in our lives all the time or on the regular, because most people don't listen. They don't even listen to themselves. Why the hell are they going to listen to somebody external? You want to know an example of gut versus spirit from my experience? I'll share a story. Once upon a time, many, many years ago, I was drawn to go to this place. Exciting, isn't it? I had an off feeling, I really did, that I shouldn't go, basically, and I took the chance and went anyway. So I'm on my way, happily driving there, because this girl didn't listen. But as I got closer to the place, in my head I heard, don't go, it's a trap. And I still didn't listen, but that was spirit telling me. They were stepping in, warning me, because I ignored the first warning. I actually ignored the second warning. 3 strikes and you're out, Jessica. Just saying. 2 down, 1 to go. A lot of people ignore those feelings. It's kind of like tornado sirens going off. And then when nothing happens, the next time they go off, people don't listen. And then all hell breaks loose. It's the same thing. Just listen to yourself. I always say that. I could have avoided the bullshit that happened that night if I had just listened to myself and spirit. But apparently I chose to learn a difficult lesson instead, because that's just how I roll sometimes. You know, I'm human. It happens. Don't judge me, please. I guess I'm one of the people who doesn't always listen. One of the ones I'm bitching about. Maybe that's why I'm like, listen. I know I explained a few different things, but the type of spirit communication I'm referring to is random. It's when they butt in. It's helpful, but it doesn't involve conjuring a ghost or using any divination tools. It can happen to people who aren't mediums or even psychics. If you don't have those spiritual abilities, spirit will still step in if you're faced with danger, even if you don't know where it's coming from. Usually it's a passed on loved one who's protecting you, and thank God for that, you know? Most of the time, people don't even realize that spirit is speaking to them. I could go into great detail about all the ways they communicate with us, but I'll save that for a future video, hopefully. Hopefully. Especially if you want to stick around, just saying you want a future video. Just know that sometimes that little voice in your head, it just isn't yours. It's coming from source, a higher being, a passed over loved one, your ancestors, because they want us to stay on track, you know. They don't want us to get into a bunch of fuck shit, just saying. This is just the beginning of many more fun and exciting things to come. I'm so excited to be, like, doing stuff like this, because I try to explain, you know, little bits and bobs or whatever in my videos, like in my readings and stuff. So I give a lot of examples, but I feel like this is just a little bit more consolidated, so it's like by topic. And that's kind of how I want to do these. So it definitely is different from readings. It's separate from that, even though it's on the same channel. So I really hope that you stick around and that you like this. And if you do, you know, feel free to give your feedback. And, you know, feel free to give your feedback if you don't like it. I was going to, like, go off on, like, little stories at the very end, but I don't have that many, like, off the top of my head that I really want to share. There was just one, which really feeds into, like, listening to yourself, because it wasn't spirit telling me this. It was just how I was feeling about another person, like, picking up on their energy. Because it is hard to decipher between the two, whether spirit's telling you or it's just yourself, you know, feeling whatever you're feeling, your intuition, you know, listening to your intuition, listening to your gut, whatever. But in the end, when it pertains to your safety or a dangerous situation or person, it doesn't really matter where the information is coming up as long as you listen to yourself. But there was this one time I met this person and I just got, like, instant creeps. I'm like, wow, you're a motherfucking creeper. And I don't even know why. You know, he was smiling to my face. He was really nice. And everything seemed copacetic on the outside. But internally, I'm going, no, I don't want to talk to you, basically. And I really still don't know why. I mean, I've kind of seen how he is with other people, and I can see why I was getting the creep factor. Like, he's someone I would never want to be alone with or anything like that. And later on, there was a few other people who came up to me and was like, yeah, that person gives me the creeps. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm not the only one, you know? So we definitely had those, like, fucked up vibes, I'm just saying. And that was just me picking up on his energy. Probably shit intentions, ultimately. Like, when spirit pops in, like in the example I provided before, like when I was going somewhere, spirit just popped right in. I wasn't thinking about it. And they were just like, hey, don't do this. So it was random. That wasn't my own thought, because I was thinking of something else. So I guess that's a good way to decipher between spirit talking to you and warning you versus yourself. But in the end, does it really matter in these types of situations? So I will dive deeper into actual spirit communication, whether it's through divination or a sense of mediumship. Those might be separate topics, separate videos, but we'll see where this takes us. I really hope that you like this video and you join me next time. Bye.